This is Good Morning Virginia.
Time now is 5:30. I'm Patty Martin, and breaking right now. Crews are on the scene of a structure fire on Polk Street near 1st Street in Lynchburg. Our ABC 13's Megan Dice is on the scene right now. Megan, a little earlier you showed us it was still a very active scene.
Yeah, it certainly is, Patty. As you can see, there's about 6 fire trucks in all that have responded from Lynchburg Fire. Firefighters still climbing on top of the house next door. They just put that ladder down. They were spraying water on it the last time we talked to you. The house is just an absolutely total loss. This is 1st and Polk Street, by the way. Let's talk to Kathy, who is one of the neighbors here. You've been here for 30 plus years. Tell me what you saw this morning.
When I was in the living room and I heard sirens, and when I came outside, I saw the house on fire, and I heard a boom, and the flames was up in the air. It actually scared me. Chubb's house, and got that one. Elaine don't have no electricity. Yeah. And this is the 3rd time my house has caught on fire on this street.
Okay, and you say that you think it was abandoned, that house?
Yes, it was abandoned. It's been abandoned about 5 years.
So what we want to do right now is a neighbor who lives at the house that we're standing at right now caught this cell phone video. Of course, we're going to get this to you guys, but we're just now getting this video. This is the house on fire, fully involved, obviously. Again, we're at 1st and Polk Street. Polk Street completely closed. AEP just showed up on the scene of this fire. The house just smoldering as we speak. We're going to talk to the fire chief, get more information about how this all happened, and we'll be right back with you at like 5:42, okay?
Thank you very much, Megan. Also breaking overnight, one person is dead after another house fire in Lynchburg. Crews responded to the 1400 block of Garfield Avenue at around 10:45 last night. The battalion chief says the fire was coming from an upstairs room when crews got there. A man who lives down the street says he tried to kick in the front door and rescue the elderly woman who lived inside.
Like I say, it could have been my grandmother, your grandmother, anybody's grandmother. You know? And I would want somebody to do that for my grandmother. So that's why I did it. My first instinct is that be a good Samaritan.
Fire officials have not confirmed if the person who died was a man or a woman. 4 people who were downstairs made it out okay. That's according to the Lynchburg Fire Department. Fire officials say the damage was contained to a single upstairs room. Officials are still investigating what caused that fire. Well, right now, the Prince William County Police Department needs your help finding a missing and endangered teenager. Police say 15-year-old Michaela Matei left her home in Dumfries Friday morning. They say she left her home voluntarily, but may be in need of assistance, which qualifies her as being endangered. She was last seen wearing dark-colored leggings, a pink zip-up Georgia State hoodie, and a black Georgia State backpack. If you have any information, you're asked to call the number on your screen.
Good Tuesday to you. Time now 5:33, and a little bit of cloud cover rolling into the heart of Virginia this morning, but that's going to be the biggest issue. Still going to be dry for us, so a quiet and cool commute. Live view of our Danville Tower Camp Streets. Pretty quiet out there right now, but if you are waking up getting ready to head out the door again, good idea to have that jacket with you as temperatures are widespread in the 40s. 41 right now in Lynchburg and Hot Springs, 43 in Danville, 48 in Roanoke, right around 44 in Blacksburg. So good things to have for today. Again, a jacket, and you will need the sunglasses at times. I think more in the morning than later on in the day, as I do expect clouds to start to increase. So overall mix of clouds and sun, a little bit of that cool start. We'll see temperatures around 47 degrees by 9 o'clock, right around 58 by lunchtime. We'll see highs in the lower 60s this afternoon. Patty?
All right. Thank you, Melissa. Well, school systems are beginning to fight against opioid and heroin addiction. And tonight at 7, Cave Spring High School in Roanoke County will host a community meeting to raise awareness against this health crisis, School leaders held the first of 5 meetings last night, and it's especially important for one woman. Janine Underwood says heroin laced with fentanyl took her son's life. She was one of many speakers last night at Hidden Valley High School, where her son graduated in 2005.
I didn't understand how opioids, pain medication related to heroin. I didn't understand any of that, nor did I understand anything about addiction.
Now, Underwood says there was a disconnect between the healthcare industry and addiction. There were few facilities and oftentimes no beds available when she tried to get her son help. She hopes education and meetings like the one last night and tonight will change the way people look at and approach opioid addiction. A majority of parents who have prescription opioids at home don't report storing them safely. That's according to a new study published in the journal Pediatrics. Just 32% of parents of young children under the age of 7 reported storing prescription opioids safely in a latched or locked location. The percentage was even lower for parents of older children between the ages of 7 and 17, 11.7%. According to the authors of the study, overdose fatalities among adolescents and young adults doubled between 1999 and 2008. This morning, 5 people are dead after a plane crash in Melbourne, Australia. This is incredible video of the scene that shows just how devastating that situation was. BBC News reports that 4 U.S. citizens and the Australian pilot were the ones who died. This after their plane crashed into a shopping mall outside an airport yesterday. Several people saw it all happen.
All of a sudden, it hit the spotlight and just erupted into a huge fireball.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. We didn't really know what to do. We were all standing on the balcony, just a bit in shock, but yeah, pretty intense.
Now, Australian police say the plane crashed about an hour before the mall was supposed to open. A spokeswoman for Air Services Australia says flights in and out of Melbourne's main airport were not affected. All right, well, President Trump is back in Washington, D.C. after a busy President's Day weekend. He named a new national security advisor. Right there, you are getting a live look at the White House this morning. Well, this week, President Trump is expected to roll out new executive orders on immigration, and it comes during nationwide Not My President protests. Kenneth Moten has the latest.
This morning, the president's pick.
He's a man of tremendous talent and tremendous experience.
Army strategist H.R. McMaster will get to work as President Trump's next national security advisor. The active duty lieutenant general and war vet is known as one of the Army's leading thinkers.
What a privilege it is to be able to continue serving our nation.
Trump's hire comes after the firing of Michael Flynn, who lied about sanctions talk with the Russian ambassador. The administration now forging ahead with new executive orders on immigration expected this week. A senior White House official says in the new draft, people from 7 predominantly Muslim countries targeted in the first order would still be banned. This time, Syrian refugees won't be automatically rejected. Green card holders and dual citizens of the U.S. in those 7 countries, exempt.
Lies and fear won't get by.
The president's policies in first month in office sparked holiday protests. Not My President's Day demonstrations were held in dozens of cities.
I don't listen to anything he says. We're a disgrace now around the world.
Those global tensions felt in the UK Parliament. Lawmakers debated after nearly 2 million Britons signed a petition to downgrade Trump's upcoming state visit.
We should not be inviting him to preach hatred and to spread his bigotry, his misogyny.
The demonstrations here at home against Trump were mostly peaceful. In Oregon, protesters clashed with police who made several arrests. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
Well, the Better Business Bureau has issued a warning about door-to-door soliciting. They say a woman in Bedford County recently had an asphalt company canvass her neighborhood, and that crew stopped to tell her she needed a new driveway. Well, the company claimed they were accredited by the BBB. Fortunately, she called to check and learned they were not. So if you get one of those door knocks, ask for identification and licensing. And don't feel pressured to make a decision right then and there. Verify the legitimacy of the company. Research them on the BBB's site.
Following boycotts and outrage over a lack of diversity in last year's Oscars, this year things are changing. I'm Marcy Gonzalez with a look ahead to that part of Hollywood's biggest night coming up.
Right now, we're taking a live view of our Lynchburg Tower Cam where it's around 41 degrees. So a little bit of a cool start, but what can you expect for the rest of the day? The details just ahead.
This is Good Morning Virginia.
Well, breaking overnight, 9 fire departments are still on the scene treating hotspots at the Pulaski Church of God.
Witness Angie Clevenger says her husband shot this video of the scene. Take a look at this. The fire broke out at around 11 last night. The flames engulfed that church. The steeple also gone. Now, the fire marshal says that the kitchen and the gymnasium, that's a part of the fellowship hall, was spared by the fire department. This is all happening in the 1600 block of Bob White Boulevard. The fire marshal also confirms no one was injured, luckily.
And right now we have Pulaski Church of God Senior Pastor Travis Gore on the phone with us. First of all, good morning, Pastor Gore. We are so sorry to hear about what happened.
Good morning. Thank you.
Let me ask you, let's go back. How did you find out what was happening and what did you find when you got there?
I got a message about 11 o'clock from one of our members, one of our parishioners, and just said that there was smoke coming out of the sanctuary, the main auditorium. Actually, her husband is on the volunteer fire department, and so I got there about 20 minutes later or so. When I got there, the main building, which is comprised of the sanctuary, there's also a children's worship area, classrooms, things like that, was completely engulfed.
Tell us about the moment when you first heard about this. So what were your emotions?
Oh, obviously, it just was gut-wrenching, grief, just such despondency and despair at first. But then after that, there's just this peace that God gives that I believe He's going to help us to rejoice. The fact that nobody lost their lives moving in the building, to rise up, and we will rebuild.
And Pastor Gore, what would you say right now if members of your congregation are watching and listening to you? What do you say to them?
Well, there's just something, a little mantra that I have taken on as I drove over tonight, that we're just going to rejoice in the fact that there was no loss of life, and we're going to rejoice in the good things that God has blessed us with, and we're going to rise up, and we're going to rebuild.
Pastor Travis Gore, thank you so much for joining us, and again, we want to express our condolences to you and your congregation.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your kindness.
Yes, sir.